I think everything happens in time. You know, there's a time for everything. There's a time to be in a group, and there's a time to be solo. At least there was for me. If I'd had it my way, I would have been in the group forever.
Lauryn Hill wasn't just a singer, a rapper, or an artist. She was a force. A young black woman with the kind of voice that could make you feel every ounce of joy, pain, and love in a song. Her lyrics weren't just words, they were truths. The kind of honesty that makes you stop what you're doing, close your eyes, and just listen. Before she was a household name, before the Grammys, before the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, she was just a girl from East Orange, New Jersey, trying to find her place in the world. Born on May 26, 1975, Lauryn Noel Hill grew up in a family where music wasn't just entertainment, it was life. Her mother was an English teacher who played the piano, and her father sang at weddings. That love of music was instilled in Lauryn early, and it wasn't long before she found herself performing at school and local events, standing out even among the most talented kids around her. But Lauryn didn't just want to sing, she wanted to be great. She was inspired by the legends: Aretha Franklin, Curtis Mayfield, Bob Marley, and of course the golden age of hip-hop that was rising all around her. She had the kind of drive that most people only talk about, but few actually have. Then came the moment that would change everything. Lauryn was still in high school when she met Prakazrel, Pras Michel, and Wyclef Jean, two young Haitian men with big dreams of their own. They had a vision for a group that blended hip-hop, reggae, and soul in a way that hadn't been done before. They saw Lauryn not just as a singer, but as the missing piece to something bigger. The three of them became the Fugees, and by the time they released their first album, Blunted on Reality, in 1994, they were already making waves. But it was the score in 1996 that made history. The album wasn't just a success, it was a movement. It sold over 20 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling hip-hop albums of all time. Tracks like Killing Me Softly and Ready or Not proved that hip-hop could be beautiful, not just raw and aggressive. And at the center of it all was Lauryn, with a voice that could switch from a silky R&B croon to a razor-sharp rap verse in an instant. Lauryn Hill had arrived, and the world was watching. With success came pressure to deliver, pressure to perform, and in Lauryn's case, pressure in love. At just 17 years old, Lauryn entered a relationship with Wyclef Jean, who was 23 at the time. What started as a close friendship and creative partnership soon turned into a secret love affair. But there was a problem. Wyclef was already in a committed relationship with the woman who would later become his wife. This wasn't just any relationship, it was messy, complicated, and filled with secrets. On one hand, Lauryn and Wyclef made magic together in the studio. Their chemistry was undeniable, and it was part of what made the Fugees so special. But behind closed doors, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Wyclef has admitted in interviews that their relationship was toxic. He was stringing Lauryn along, making her believe that one day they would be together for real, all while keeping his fiancée on the side. Lauryn, young and deeply in love, held on to the hope that Wyclef would choose her. She gave everything, her heart, her trust, her talent, to a man who could never fully give himself to her. And then came the ultimate betrayal. By the time Lauryn started working on her solo album, she had finally begun to see the truth. Wyclef was never going to leave his wife. He had been lying to her for years. And if that wasn't enough, he had the nerve to question whether Lauryn's first child was even his. That was the breaking point. Lauryn walked away, heartbroken but determined. She took all that pain, all that betrayal, and poured it into what would become one of the greatest albums of all time. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill and Rohan Marley's relationship was as passionate as it was complicated. They met in the late 1990s, around the time Lauryn was riding the wave of success from The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and their connection was instant. Rohan, the son of reggae legend Bob Marley, carried his father's legacy in both music and philosophy, and Lauryn was deeply drawn to that energy. Together they had 5 children, creating what many saw as a beautiful spiritual bond rooted in love, music, and culture. But behind the scenes, their relationship was far from perfect. Rohan was still legally married to another woman when he and Lauryn got together, though he insisted that the marriage was over in everything but paperwork. Despite the deep love they shared, their union was marred by emotional strain, rumors of infidelity, and conflicting priorities. Lauryn, already weary from the pressures of fame and industry expectations, found herself in yet another situation where she was giving more than she was receiving. Rohan, for his part, seemed to struggle with the weight of their relationship, often disappearing for long periods and leaving Lauryn to raise their children largely on her own. By the early 2000s and 10s, their relationship had officially ended, though they remained connected through their children. Rohan has spoken fondly of Lauryn in interviews, acknowledging their deep bond, but also admitting that their relationship was complicated. Lauryn, on the other hand, has remained mostly private about their breakup, choosing instead to focus on her children and her music. While their love story didn't have the fairy tale ending some had hoped for, it left an undeniable mark on Lauryn's life and artistry, influencing much of the raw emotion in her music. When the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill dropped in 1998, it wasn't just an album, it was a masterpiece. Every track was laced with emotion, from the empowerment of doo-wop, That Thing, to the deep heartbreak of X Factor, which, let's be real, was a direct shot at Wyclef. The album was a cultural reset. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, won 5 Grammy Awards, and became the first album by a solo female rapper to achieve diamond status. But the industry didn't make it easy for Lauryn. Labels wanted to control her. They wanted her to keep making hits, keep feeding the machine, keep giving more and more. But Lauryn had already given too much. Her heart, her trust, her energy, and she was tired. Then came the lawsuit. The group of musicians who helped her create the Miseducation sued her for not crediting them properly. The pressure from the industry, the betrayal from people she trusted, and the constant demand for more became too much. Lauryn did what so many black women do when the world takes everything from them. She disappeared. Lauryn Hill has never been the type to follow industry rules. After years of silence, she would pop up here and there, sporadic performances, a Fugees reunion that didn't last, and a few live recordings that left fans wanting more. In 2013, she made headlines again, but this time for tax evasion. She spent 3 months in prison telling the world that she refused to be a part of a system that exploited artists. Still, she never lost her legacy. In 2018, Lauryn went on tour for the 20th anniversary of the Miseducation, proving that her voice, her presence, her power had never faded. But the issues with lateness continued. Fans would wait hours for her to come on stage, and some even walked out. Then in 2023, she announced another tour, but it had to be postponed due to vocal cord injuries. So will Lauryn Hill ever release another album? That's the question fans have been asking for 25 years. And the truth is, only Lauryn knows. What we do know is that she doesn't need another album to solidify her place in history. She already gave us one of the greatest works of art in music. She already changed the game. If she never records another song, her legacy is sealed. But if she ever does decide to bless us with new music, best believe the world will stop and listen.